Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a bracelet today using some of the products from the latest Potomac Beads Treasure Edition subscription box. It was called Nature Lover. It was for June. They also have a subscription box that has kits in it. I will put a link up in the corner of this video that will take you directly to the unboxing video that I did for this box in case you didn't get to see it, and if you want to. And I'll put a link in the description box below too. And I'll also put a link that'll take you directly to the subscription page of the Potomac Beads website in case you want to check it out and see if you want to subscribe. In here I have the 8mm Czech faceted round beads. They were seafoam was the color. In here I have the Czech wavy leaf beads. In here I have the copper nugget beads and the one of the Czech fossil shell beads that was in the box. And here I have the pewter button that was in the box. And then I have a little link here from my stash. A couple of jump rings, a couple of wire guards, a couple of crimp tubes, and a piece of 1.5mm leather. I'm going to do a leather and button closure for this. It doesn't really matter what size you could use, 1mm leather, 2mm, 1.5 like I'm using, whatever, it doesn't really matter. I've got my soft flex beading wire in fine. This is the bronze color, but it doesn't really matter. You can use whatever bead stringing wire you have. I've got my bead stoppers. I've got my chain nose pliers, my bent chain nose pliers, my crimping pliers, and my cutters. I think that's all I'm going to need. So hold on, I'll get some of the beads poured out and I'll be back. Okay, I've got my beads poured out here now, and I'm gonna do some stringing. I'm gonna take one of my 8mm Czech glass beads, one of my copper nugget beads, two of my 8mm Czech glass beads, one of my copper nugget beads. I'm going to do 3 of my leaf beads, and I'm not worrying just yet how they're falling. I'll attend to that in a minute. Then I'm going to do another copper nugget bead, 2 more of my 8mm beads, my fossil bead, two more of my 8mm beads, a nugget bead, 3 of my leaf beads, a nugget bead, 2 of my 8mm Czech glass beads, a nugget bead, and one of my Czech glass beads. So that's what I've got there, and that's why I said I wasn't too worried about how they're falling, because when you tighten it up, they're naturally going to do that. I'm going to just leave it like that. If you want to alternate them, if you want like these to go that way, you know, one section with the single leaf up here and one down here, you can do that. Actually, I might leave it that way. I think I like that better. So they're going to flop around here until I get it crimped and tightened up anyway, though, for right now. So I'm going to crimp now. I'm going to put my crimp tube on and my wire guardian. And go down through the other channel of my wire guardian. I'm going to go back down my crimp tube. Make sure my wires are not crossing. Try to hold them apart. I'm not confident they're, yeah, they're crossed. I'm going to take my pliers here and tuck my little crimp or wire guardian edge a little. I'm going to try to hold my wires apart. I'm going to take my crimping pliers and I'm going to go into the part there that has the little tooth on it. And I'm going to lay the tooth on top. I'm going to squeeze. And that puts each one of those wires in its own little channel there. Now I'm going to go into there's 3 circular parts, half circles on each side here. I'm going to go into the middle one because that's the one for the 2x2 crimp tube. I'll lay my crimp in there. Squeeze. And then I'm going to go down to the next one. Squeeze some more. I'm going to tug. That's good. So now I'm going to take my cutters. I'm going to cut off my wire. And now I'm going to cut my wire off of my spool here. And I'm going to take my crimp tube, put it on this side. Put my wire guardian on. Tuck in my wire guardian. Go down the other channel of the wire guardian. Back through my crimp tube. And I always go through a bead or 2 on this side to get my hands out of the way while I'm trying to crimp. Try to keep my wires from getting crossed. Hold the wire guardian and pull down the wire. Now this is where I'm going to make my leaves lay the way I want them to, and I think, decisions. Do I want them opposite or do I want them the same? I think I'll just leave them the way they are. I think I'll leave them opposite of each other. So now I want to make sure there's no slack in my piece, but I don't want it to be really tight either. So I'm going to go in that part with a tooth again. I'm going to squeeze. And I'm going to go in that part, the second part, that's for the 2x2 crimp tubes. I'm going to squeeze. And I'm going to go down to the next one and squeeze again. I'm going to tug. That's good. So now I'm going to cut off my wire. Well, they flip back around there. Now they're both the same. They're probably gonna, you could make them, you could change them. It's not that tight, so you could change them if you wanted to. I guess that's the way they want to be, so that's the way they'll be. Hold on, I'll get my other findings and I'll be back. Okay, first I'm gonna, I've got way zoomed in. I don't know how that happened. First I'm gonna put my button on. So I'm gonna take my chain nose pliers and my bent chain nose pliers. I'm going to open one of these. This is a 6mm jump ring. thread on one side of my necklace or bracelet, and I'm going to thread on my button. This can be a little fiddly getting this jump ring closed around this button, but it can be done. Just going to close it there. Get good and closed. Okay. Now, I'm going to take this jump ring and open it up and attach the other side of my bracelet and my little link that I've got here. Close it up. Now, I've got this is about a 10-inch piece of leather. I found that 10 inches works pretty good for this. So I'm just going to take my leather and put it through my ring here. And I'm going to bring the ends together. And I'm just going to tie an overhand knot here. I'm going to bring the knot down pretty close to my button. I mean, pretty close to my link. I'm just going to pull on each piece of leather to tighten up my knot. And now I'm going to bring my button around here and see how big I need my hole for my button to go through. Probably need it to be about right there. So I'm going to tie another overhand knot right here. Before I tighten my knot very much, I'm going to make sure my button will go through. I think that's going to be good. And over time, your leather will stretch just a little bit. So if it's a little tight here, that's not a big problem, because over time it won't stretch much, but it'll stretch a little bit over time. So I think I'll leave it right there. Now I'm going to just tighten this knot. Put my finger here so that it doesn't shorten my space for my button. I don't want to make it. I'm going to just, sometimes I take my pliers to help me tighten this knot here. Try my button one more time. Oh yeah, that'll go through there fine. So now I'm just going to cut off my leather. Now if you want to, if you don't want to cut it off, if you don't want to cut off very much of it, you could, I could probably put a couple of those little nuggets, I think would go on here if I wanted to for a little decoration. I'm not going to do that, but if you have a bead that you want to put on each piece of your leather and then tie another knot at the end here and make a little decoration, you can. Or you can cut off, I'm just going to cut off about right here. But if you want to cut off right, if you don't like that and you want to cut off right up here against the knot, you can do that. You just want to make sure you put a little piece of glue, a little bit of glue on that knot, some GS Hypo cement or something, to keep it from coming apart. I might put some on there anyway, even though I don't think it's going to come apart since I didn't cut it real close, but I might put some GS Hypo on there anyway, just to be safe. So, there's my little bracelet. And you could use this link here. You could dangle some charms off that if you want to. I should have looked to see if I had any charms. Hold on, let me see if I've got any that I won't put on here. Hold on. Okay, I found a little leaf and a little bee. So I'm going to put these on here. And I'll put some text at the beginning of the video to tell y'all I've decided at the last minute to put some charms on here when I'm going over my supplies. I don't know why I didn't think to get out. I pretty much always want to put charms and dangles on everything. I don't know why I didn't think of this. Especially with having that ring there, which is the perfect place to put charms and dangles. And I got a couple more 6mm jump rings here to put them on with. For some reason I need these pliers in my right hand. I don't know why. They just will not work in my left hand. A little bee on here. Okay, there we go. Got a couple little charms on there now. Hold on, let me get some of my stuff cleaned up and get everything laid out pretty, and I'll be back. Okay, there we go. A little bracelet made from some of the contents of the latest Potomac Beads Treasure Edition subscription box. It was called Nature Lover. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description box below that will take you directly to the subscription page of the Potomac Beads website in case you want to look at it and see if it's something you want to subscribe to. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook and Instagram and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.